Hello, this is David from the Bookman in Orange, California. Welcoming you to my segment today on things found in old books. And today I have a grouping of things I've found and I'm really excited about, um, and also a couple things that other people have shared with me that I'm really excited about sharing with you guys, and I'm enjoying this very much. So let's get started. Today, this book came through the other day. It looks like a piece of a newspaper. Uh, Actually, it is a piece of newspaper. What it is that do you remember or are you old enough in high school that you used to cover your books in paper and so forth? Well, that's what someone's done. They've taken this book. This book is from 1894, and it's called "Come All Ye Faithful." It's a Christmas book. "Oh, Come All Ye Faithful" from 1894. It's got that beautiful cover, gorgeous cover, and someone has taken a newspaper from the same era and covered the book in it to save the book from getting damaged. It's the equivalent of our plastic dust jackets that we have now. It was a newspaper. And now, as far as anything too newsworthy in the newspaper, there's not a whole lot newsworthy. It's just a slice of life. It's mainly the millinery section of the newspaper, and it's advertising different things for sale at different prices, like 21 cents a yard, 25 cents a yard, and telling you what the different uh, cloth and wools are, and it has a whole list, and it has pictures of ladies wearing the most current fashion of the day, and the beautiful dresses there made out of this fine millinery cloth that they're selling. And I just thought this was spectacular. I really enjoyed it. I'm very careful about taking it on and off because it is kind of fragile, being 100 and some years old piece of paper. But it's held up pretty good though for all these years. So someone covered it up, put it in a box, and there it sat until it got to the Bookman in Orange, California. And I'm sharing it with you. On the inside, it's signed to Eva Smith from Mama, December '94. Little Christmas present to little Eva. So that's that. And I think that's pretty awesome. Secondly, I found this book here. It's called Missions of San Luis Rey. California is known for a lot of its missions. There's all kinds of missions go up and down the coast. I've been to many myself. And this was a little guide that you would, when you go there, you could buy this in the gift shop. But what I found inside, which I want to share with you today, is a ticket to a Los Angeles Dodgers game from 1971. Admit 1, July 2nd, 1971, 8 o'clock. The Los Angeles Dodgers versus the Cubs. And now I'm a big Dodger fan. And so I was real excited to find this. I did a little research. I went online. You could still find the scores from back then. And the Dodgers dropped the game to the Cubs. Those bums. Anyway, so now I'm a big fan. I might have to hang on to this and keep it for my archives. I love that. And lastly, I had this official souvenir book from the New York World's Fair 1964/65. So of course the World's Fair was a big deal back in the 60s. I mean, they still talk about it to this day. I don't know if they even have World's Fairs anymore. I don't believe they do. But well, here's an official souvenir book from the World's Fair, and what it is a giant book full of the events and the pictures of the things that you could see there, and it's really chatty, and it goes on to all kinds of stuff. But inside the book, right up front here, was a little treasure trove of stuff that was laid into the book. So we're going to go through. We've got a lot to unpack here. So we're going to start. Well, let's start with this. It's a little envelope with a picture. Now, when I saw the envelope and I saw there was a picture inside, I thought, oh, good, pictures of some of the events, some of the rides, some of the attractions. But no, it was a picture of a woman standing in front of houses, and so I really don't know if this is has anything to do with the World Fair or not. But I am assuming that the person who took, or the person in the picture, is probably the person who owns the book, and there'll be a little more about that later. Also, well, you got your card for ordering another book in case you like this book so much. You could order another. You just send on this card with a little check, and you could get another guide here. I also found this souvenir map, and it's a darn big map of New York City and a big map of the actual World's Fair for getting around. And it's a pretty nice little map, and it's dated 1965 as well. So you got your souvenir map to go with everything here. And I also found in this book, wrapped in this little cellophane, the New York World Fair commemorative postage stamp, postage stamp 1964, with the commemorative stamp honoring the World's Fair, 2 different versions, commemorating the New York World's Fair 64-65, peace through understanding. April 22nd, 1964, this one is stamped, and the same date as this one here. So you got 2 commemorative stamps and envelopes. And a little cellophane envelope. Cool. And lastly, I found these letters in the book itself. And the letters are to Mr. Gerson Leiber. Now, Mr. Gerson Leiber was an artist who was showing at the fair. Apparently he had a painting called Jazz. And the lady who owned this book found out that there was no more prints available at the World's Fair for his jazz that she really liked. So she wrote Mr. Leiber and a letter saying how much she liked it and how she would like to get a copy. And Mr. Leiber wrote her back, and he was very pleased to hear from her, and he would send a copy of Jazz for $80, and he would send it along. It's on this little, it's like rice paper for air mail. And then she wrote back, this is in July 1964, she wrote back and said that she'd be more than happy to send $80 to get her copy of Jazz. And Mr. Leiber wrote back saying, well, thank you for the order, and as soon as he gets the money, he'll send it along. And I thought that was really fascinating. There's a lot of stuff in there, a lot of chatty stuff. And I did a little research. Gerson Leiber is actually a very well-known artist. He's on permanent collection at MoMA and some other museums as well. Smithsonian, I think he has some stuff. And so he was around for a long time, and he died relatively recently. He was in his 90s, and so I got all these letters from him and the correspondent, to the lady, and I did look up, and I have a little CPI converter, and I kind of figured out how much is $80 worth by today's money, and the answer is nearly $700. by today's currency. So I guess it was 80 wasn't a cheap thing. It was a substantial thing for a print. And so I found that just fascinating. There's a lot of stuff in that book, and it kept me busy for a while. And finally, I got some email from two people with things that concerned what we're talking about here. And one is from Lee at the Ridge Books in Georgia. She sent me something and with pictures. It says, "Hi, David. I have a small recipe book from 1910, The Chef, published by the Harley Company of Dayton, Ohio. Inside was a small newspaper clipping from the Yakima, Washington, and it has a recipe for dry shampoo. It contains cornmeal, 8 ounces, amotone, 4 ounces. The only reference I can find for amotone is as a gasoline additive used by Amoco in the 1970s. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm pretty sure I wouldn't want it in my hair. Lee sent that to me. I appreciate it very much, Lee. I'm glad to share it here. Boy, I tell you what they were doing in 1910, who knows if anybody had any hair left. And then a couple weeks ago, I shared with you a watcher who sent me an email about books that he was put his email in, and it wrote a little something in the book, and it would leave it in a park or a bus station or something for people to find, in hopes that people would contact him through his email and saying they found the book. And he did that recently, and he got a response. And the person who found the book responded to him, but they also sent me an email with pictures of the book that they found in the park. And I'll read that to you now. It says, "You mentioned a Mr. Barry Wood in your YouTube video a few days ago. I think he really appreciated the shout out. My friends and I were on a picnic chess game outing in the public gardens of Halifax, Nova Scotia, and found the book with Mr. Wood's inscription. He mentioned you, and we ended up watching your video. Great work. We loved it. Thank you. We will be reading the book and start leaving the books for others. Warm wishes, Mel Eitz." Hey, I thank you very much for writing. I really enjoy those emails, and I hope to hear more from you. In fact, anybody that would like to write and get a hold of me and share stuff with me on the broadcast here, I would love to do it. It'd be my great pleasure and honor to do it. Just contact me at oldbook@ebookman.com. Simple. oldbook@ebookman.com. Send a description of what you found. A little picture would be great. In fact, please, I encourage the pictures, and I will be more than happy to share it here on the broadcast. Meanwhile, thank you very much for watching, and this is David from the Bookman in Orange, California, saying goodbye for now, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.